a guy that would beat up the kids and take
Jesus.
yeah,
That's way worse than anything we do.
not a soldier,
Okay.
an Iraqi. More crimes.
Just Americans.
Hey, you guys want some candy? You. Hi, Eli.
Hi, Rich.
Who came before me?
We have Nick.
Nick started it out.
Cody comes out Saturday.
Okay.
And then Brandon. And then we'll do the little in-betweeny thingy with the training and just like a vlog thing. And then you follow right after that.
Oh, wow. I'm really put on the back end there, huh?
All right.
I'm glad I showed up.
I'm one of the first three of the hosts of On Sub. And now we're going to the host of...
I used
Kinda.
2 shine pads for you. And this
Shoulda
is how
used
you
one.
treat me?
Should have used one, brother.
I should have saved the back hair story for the unsub channel. Much more professional than this.
I'm actually excited for the Unsub episode too, because that is Unsub versus Kind.
I got some stories saved up.
Dude, that thumbnail I'm so fucking stoked for. It's just going to be a Mortal Kombat theme. And then me and Nick looking up because we're hosts on both of them.
Yeah.
We're just like, oh no, they're going to fight.
Finish him.
Then you're just going to bully Ethan.
Yeah.
I'm like, stop! It's versus us. I don't bully Ethan.
Before it even starts, 100% that's what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. So we're going to start and everybody's going to be like, hey, you're on your thing and you're on your thing. And, Eli and Nick are doing double shit. And Ethan's going to make some really lame jokes to try and dig at everybody. And they're going to be so bad. They're going to be so bad. I'm going to have to call him out on it because nobody else will. Because that's my job, to call her outer. And then it's going to be basically me on my own while I also attack my own teammate and then try to defend him against the other 2.
Don't say that. You can't say that. Only I can say that. Ethan, you suck.
Yeah.
Back to you. I already know how it's going to go.
Ethan, you're mildly retarded. You don't get to talk to him like that.
Still punch Brandon.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, fucking calm down, guys.
I'm gonna hit Ethan each time. I'm like, hey, you don't talk to him like that. Boom. And he's gonna be like, ow, why? I can't hit Brandon. He's too far away.
You slap his backhand.
I yell at Brandon, but I smack Ethan every time.
Shut up. It's like, whoa.
You know the deal. No words when you're talking.
Everyone knows Angry Cop. As you can tell, Rich is one of my favorite humans. We've known each other for
I think we're going on a decade.
I was about to say it has to be right around a decade.
The first time we met was the Black Rifle podcast, I think. That was the first time we met.
Holy shit, yeah.
We had talked before, and I think some text messages or we saw each other's stuff, and we had said I know who you are over the phone. That was it. And then I met you at the astronaut house that Black Rifle had at the time. And we did the podcast where I shit on Matt Best for an hour and a half.
I remember that. That's what I was just watching. I think it was my second podcast ever. So I was just like, oh, this is wow. Actually, if you go watch that episode and read the comments, it does say wow, it is weird watching Eli just quiet, just meek, timid.
No, you were. I said this to Matt and JT when you were out of the room because I hate giving my friends compliments, as any straight man would be. And I told him, I was like, dude, that worked out really well. One, Matt, I don't think anybody's ever talked to you like that where people have seen it. Yeah. And I was like, you handled it really well. I was giving you some jabs. You were fighting back too. I was like, you're treading water, but you were doing pretty good. And he's like, shut up. And I was like, JT's a fucking loose cannon coming up with topics out of his ass that are in no way connected with whatever we're talking about. And then even then you were just kind of waiting back, waiting for the lulls, your iconic laugh. And then when there would be that natural pause in between topics or what are we going to do next, you would pop in. Already then you were going to be a good interviewer. I didn't say that because you didn't need positive reinforcement at the time. You needed that silent, judgmental dad. Am I good enough? And that's why I didn't really talk to you that much afterwards. And look at you now. I've made you what you are.
Thank you for everything.
And I've come for a paycheck because basically I'm going to say 80% of what you own should be mine. And we could start there.
I appreciate that so much.
You're
That's
welcome.
why you're a guest. So we never have to pay. You're a guest,
just
in
like
my
I am
life.
on Kind of Consensual.
You're just a guest in every aspect of it.
Nobody wants me to stay, but they're really happy when I visit.
Saves a lot of money.
And headache.
Dude, well, I want to know, like, we got to meet your parents at the live shows during the Buffalo show. That was the first time meeting them.
Yep.
I want to know the childhood of Richard. And was it something where you were like, I really want to be a police officer. I want to be in the military, or I want to create content. I want to make people laugh. What part of your life did that take over? Was that like young, or did it start later in life?
I was always a ham. I had 3 sisters and no brothers. So it was and at a young age, my family moved in and built an addition on my grandparents' house. So it was Grandma and Grandpa lived downstairs, and then Mom and Dad, and then me and my 3 sisters lived upstairs. And so it was like a lot of the time was my father and I in a sea of estrogen. And my older sister was 5 years older than me and a lot bigger than me. And then like I had 2 younger sisters and my mom, so I couldn't fight anybody. And my dad was enormous. He's a plumber and he's got plumber's hands. And as a joke, like we would goof around and wrestle a little bit. And when he would get like tired of it and be like, all right, you're done. I'd be like, no, I'm not. He'd get me like with a pressure point in like the neck or the shoulders.
It's a big old sausage going in there.
And I'd be crippled. So I couldn't fight anybody. So I was always like if my sisters or if my mom and my sisters, got in a fight or whatever, I'd always be like the smooth it over guy, and like I said, I couldn't fight. So I'd try to make everybody laugh. And I was the only boy, so I got a lot of attention because I was the only boy in the family.
First boy, last boy, so immediately.
Yeah, the only one. So even the grandparents were like, "Oh, Ricky," blah, blah, blah. And so I fell in love with The Mask by Jim Carrey and Ace Ventura. Like those two. There was a third movie that he made during that time that was really, really good too.
That people don't realize that Mask and Ace Ventura were the same year, right?
Mask, Ace Ventura, and something else. It wasn't Liar Liar, but it was another really big one of his.
Dude, and he talks about it willing it into existence, and he wrote that check for, it was like 10 or 20 million.
Yep.
He wrote a check to himself for 10 or 20 million dollars. He's like, I'm going to be able to deposit this one day.
Yep.
And sure shit, that was
the year where he hit it, made it big. So I was really into Jim Carrey, and then as I grew older, like early high school, before high school, Robin Williams, like Live in New York came out, and I memorized that entire thing. And bro, I act like Robin Williams, you know what I mean? Fast, off the cuff, inappropriate for the most part. and so I was like, I studied stand-up comedy. I would record on a VHS, on our VCR, Comedy Central stand-ups. So like Jim Gaffigan, when he was like just starting out, some balding nobody with goofy glasses and a funny accent, I knew who he was when he started. No shit. And I was like studying his shit and his delivery. Mitch Hedberg was big. I loved Mitch Hedberg.
Oh, yep. Dry humor.
And he takes you where you don't expect to go. There's a couple. There's Jurgelson. Oh, what's his name? Anthony Jurgelson, something like that. He's extremely dark and takes it in a turn you wouldn't expect, and so, but anyway, I would follow all these young comedians' careers, and some of them faded away and some of them grew into who they are now, which is, big names. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make people laugh. I wanted to be a stand-up comedian. And I did some drama club in high school that I finally I got on stage when I was a junior and a senior, but it wasn't comedy; it was musicals. It turns out I could sing.
What?
Oh, I had a really good voice.
Do you have videos of any of this?
I might have a video of me, in my first musical when I was a junior, and the musical was called Over Here. And it's based on World War II, and it's a bunch of young troops that graduate high school from different walks of life. You got the Jersey kid, the Midwestern country boy, and then you had me, who was like the all-American boy, right? And and I sang and I danced.
I wanna be a soldier,
dude. It was
And then at that moment, you're like, I'm signing up for
Dude,
this.
I'm going to fuck you.
I need this. I need to insert a clip right here.
I want to make you mine until the end of time, but then like a bowl of sugar, something like that. Dude, that's how it went. God, that's embarrassing. That I
want
remember
to
that much.
watch this so bad.
Dude, so
you got to find that.
I'll look for it. I think I've got a VHS somewhere, or my dad might. My mom does. You'll never find it. But I got voice lessons at school, and I could sing really well. And the following year, I was the lead in. It wasn't Jesus Christ Superstar. It was something else. But I was Jesus, and that was a difficult one to sing. I had to hit some high notes, and I had to train my voice to hit like a high note that I got eventually, and it was great. But I was also like a realist. So I was like, I'm never going to make it. You know, there's too many people. I live in Buffalo, New York. I've got to move to LA or New York, and I don't want any part of that. So I was a realist, and was like, cool, maybe I'll do some stand up, and, you know, I'll join the army, go to war, and I'll go part-time. I'll be a reservist, and I'll see how that goes. And then, you know, the rest is history. Did improv, did stand up when I got back, and then started the online shit when Vine was around. And here I am today in Texas.
And part of the Unsub tour always.
Yeah, that was fun.
Always will be. That's when I reached out. That's why it was San Antonio was the first show. Mm-hmm. And I knew with everyone's personalities, I needed somebody to carry the presence. And I was like, I think Rich has this on lockdown better than anyone. Also, he's the only one that's going to get energy. And you were you had everyone terrified. Not old Rich. He sees that line. He's like, ooh. When you walked outside, you start talking to everyone. He's like, I'm ready to get on stage. I'm fucking ready to get on stage. Everyone else is like, Cody's vomiting.
Oh, Cody
Dude, he was just nervous.
Cody was a mess. And you've got everybody like asking him like, how you doing? How you feeling, Cody? He's like, I'm not feeling good at all, man. I think I'm going to throw up. I think I'm actually going to throw up. And then me literally right next to him be like, this is going to be great. Guys, listen, when this is over, you're going to love it. Oh, I'm fucking suited. I'm ready for this. Oh, I was jumping up and down. I was like, this is going to be great. And but I was also like watching all of you guys, you know, not like I'm a big brother or anything, but like I've done live shit before.
Yeah, none of us, like we are going, yes, it's like, oh, talk to millions of people behind the camera.
Yeah.
Transitioning into 500 people out the gate.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, oh, we can have fun with this. Yeah. And then immediately after that, it's just fucking firing. Yeah. And Cody was supposed to be the first one to do crowd work. Cody's like, no. That's why we were like, hand that mic off.
Listen, man, I am guilty of occasionally, unintentionally stealing the show. Like I have to be told, hey, 80%, you know, bring it down. We don't need 100% right now. We need 80%, Rich. That day you needed 100%, Rich. That day you needed 100%, and 100% was ready and willing. You just had to say, release the leash. And but before all that show, I was watching everybody and how they were doing. And it was St. Patrick's Day, and I wore my kilt, and I knew right away, like, if these guys are worried or nervous, and I also know how to set off a crowd in the beginning, I was like, I'm going to flash the crowd. I'm going to show them my ass for a split second, and all the guys on the table are going to go, well, we can't do any worse than that. Like, Rich just showed his ass, so I guess we're going to be okay.
The bar is on the floor.
It sunk below the floor. Unlike my balls, which were...
And then everyone went wild. And then it was just...
Yeah.
It is a crazy experience seeing how loud... Because if you watch live events, you watch live comedy segments, or whatever, or live podcasts, y'all show the fuck up. That is the most wild thing, is how engaged and how loud the audience is.
And how fast they sell out the bar.
Oh, yeah. And we've said it a million times. Y'all go way too fucking
beautiful delinquents.
But was that going from the smaller shows to the larger shows? I would be more fearful of smaller shows, more intimate feeling, I think. Especially if you're just on this stage by yourself, no one knows you. You can bomb.
Yeah, it's different. It is very different. So when I was doing improv and I was with an improv troupe, it was, I think we had like 120 seats and we would sell out fairly regularly, but there would also be like, Thursday night shows in July where people are not going to live events. They're outside. You know what I mean? Especially in Buffalo where it's cold. A Thursday night in December is different than a Thursday night in July, So there were days where there was only like, 15, 20 people in the crowd and we'd go outside and, just start giving out free tickets to people just to fill some seats. Oh, yeah. But there were some days where we would do, we did comedy marathons for charity and it would be 24 hours of comedy. And I think I had like the shift from like 2 to 4 in the morning.
So a packed audience of no one.
6 people, maybe.
The bartender.
6 people. And let me tell you, when it's that intimate, it's extremely freeing because if you fail, nobody gives a shit. Nobody sees it. And your level of success is just getting a chuckle out of 1 or 2 people because that's a third of the audience at that point. You know what I mean?
You're still breaking down percentage, like, fuck yeah.
Right? And you're really playing to them. So, like, you also kind of know what they like and what they're digging. And then you've got, and then stand-up comedy is its own thing. You're there and you're alone. And I did stand-up before I did improv. And when I tried out for the improv group, they're like, we need you to do 1 minute as a character. We just want you to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about, any topic. We want you, if you want to be a character, that's fine. But you need to do 1 minute on your own on stage. Go. And I just did a Russian accent and I was like, my girlfriend, she leave me because I have tiny pisha too. And it's not just a pisha too, it's a pisha me for a pisha you. And I kept talking about like how difficult it was, living in, the different land that I'm from, like Uzbekistan or whatever. They were like, cool. You've got a lot of experience. And I was like, thank you. Like, we can tell that you're pretty good at this, even though you're new. We're going to put you through like a trial phase to like teach you up. And then I think you're going to be in shows fairly quickly because you've already got a strong base. And then as we went through practices, like my first week or 2 of practices, one of the old heads came up and talked to me and they're like, hey, did you say that you did stand up before this? I was like, yeah. They're like, we can tell. I'm like, ooh, that sounds like a bad thing. Good or bad? What's going on? They're like, well, in stand-up, silence is bad, right? I'm like, oh, yeah, silence is bad. You have to fill that silence with talking, unless it's an intentional beat, right?
The laughter, letting it calm down, and then move on to the next joke.
And they go, but in improv, you need to let the lines breathe a little. Like, there needs to be a space. You're allowed to give other people time to react on stage for the joke to... let it air out a little bit. And also because it's improv, for people to like react, you have to give time for them to react. So it was a learning experience of like, 80%, take off 20%, let the other people tell the story. You don't have to fill in the blank really quickly, and be afraid that it's not going to get carried anywhere. So that's kind of like how the sausage is made when it comes to like me and comedy and my time on stage. So then when it was, going up with, was it like 500 people you said was their first show?
Yep.
You can't really see past the front row, and especially when the lights are on you. And even then, I was just so excited because even if we failed, it was going to be a really funny story. Because I've bombed. I've had to walk off stage like 2 minutes into a 5-minute set of stand-up. I was too drunk. I got on stage. I was very confident. I had already got like this set that had killed before. And I was too drunk. I was sloppy with the lines and I didn't know it until like halfway through the set. And I was just like, that's my time. I was just like, I'm too drunk for this. This is fucking bombing. That's my time. And I just walked off stage, handed the mic to the guy. And I was like, well, that was a learning experience. Now I know I can't do shit drunk.
That would be the worst feeling because you're like, well, silence. Did you get any laughter when did anyone laugh at least that part of the show?
No, because it was at like a natural pause at like, it wasn't the end of the, because like
it was probably were you like mid story and you're like, you know what?
It wasn't at the end of it. I know I wasn't at the end of it. I made the ending happen. I was just like, so we're about to go out on this journey, and that's my time. Thank you.
You're just like,
and I was like, I don't think I got a fucking clap, but I think that the guy that was running the open mic night was just like, thank God.
fuck, dude.
It was bad. It was bad.
Biggest nightmare in the fucking world. So how you got tied in with that? It's like childhood.
Always a funny
Stage
kid.
Theater, always funny. Did you have, and then dad was plumber, mom stay at home?
Stay at home. She would do like different jobs, a lot of secretary work. I think she worked at Walmart when I was really little.
So just rolling in dough.
Oh, we weren't poor.
No, you were like middle, like
We were paycheck to paycheck. Our family was, it's funny. I had a conversation with my dad about this while we were fixing the crack house last week, and I was like, like you gave me a really good childhood. I didn't really need anything. You and mom didn't argue in front of me. I was really blessed to have a really good, positive upbringing. But like, yeah, it was paycheck to paycheck. And I realized that, every once in a while, you could tell that mom and dad's discussions, as you get older, you're like, oh, that was about money. That was about bills. That was about, we can't spend this much on the credit card anymore because we can't afford that. So you're like, okay, there were hard times, there were ups and downs, paycheck to paycheck for the most part, but
Christmas is good, not over the top. You got your presents. Probably, did you get family gifts? Like sharing gifts? I don't know. That's
a couple. We would get some of those. We'd get some sharing gifts, but because I was the only boy, and also like the grandparents, the grandparents chipped in on Christmas too. So we were, even though we had like a fairly large family, like 5 kids from my grandparents on my dad's side and 3 on my grandparents' side, it was only 2 of the kids remained around our grandparents. So for my mom's side, we were the only family for the grandparents to spend their money on. And then for my dad's side, we moved in with them, to help them out. And my uncle lived like an hour away, and that was the closest family. Everybody else lived in like the Carolinas or Texas or wherever. So, the grandparents really came in on like birthdays and Christmas, and stuff like that. Halloween.
That's how we get along. Like everyone in the group, I swear, it's like they're lower middle class or low income families. That's why everyone and we connect really well, I think, from it. Because then your dad still, what was your first job? Like 16 years old or?
I think it was 16 years old, and I was like I was in Niagara Falls at
Can't say that.
What's that?
Oh, never mind.
Niagara Falls. Usually I get that joke. You stole my line. Usually I say that shit. Good for you. But I was in Niagara Falls at a tourist shop where it had like a ton of T-shirts. You get photos and keychains of being at Niagara Falls, and I was like a cashier, and I folded a bunch of shirts. And I was a little young, but I was still more mature than some of the people that worked there. But that was my first summer job. And then my next job over the summer was Army.
No shit. So it was immediately, what was that first spark that was, hey, you know what? I just did this musical. That got me fucking pumped.
Yeah.
I'm all American, baby. I am now going to join the Army.
Always was going to do it. I knew in like 5th and 6th grade that I was going to join.
No shit.
Oh yeah.
Super.
I had my life planned out. I was like, yep, I'm going to join. I'm going to be a part-timer in the reserves. If I like it, I'll go active, but that's what's going to pay for college. This is a 5th and 6th grader. Like, I was like, all right, this is how I'm going to plan it. Like, this is the way that I see it going and setting myself up for success. Didn't know what I was going to do for college, but I was like, I'm in 5th and 6th grade. I don't have to figure out my major now, but this is how I'm going to get to college. Both my grandparents were in World War II, my grandfathers. So one was a merchant marine and one was Army. And I went to the Marine recruiters first. And my dad was just like, anybody but the Marines, Rick. Anybody. My dad got released out of basic. He went to be a Marine, and he's got psoriasis. And so back in like the 80s when he tried out, they shaved his head, and stress makes the psoriasis worse. Stress in Marine basic training? Tell me more. So he flaked up bad all over his face and head. And the Marines were like, get the fuck out. And they fucking booted him they medically, got rid of him. They're just like, hey man, we're not going to deal with your psoriasis.
Yeah, peacetime military. They don't
Peacetime
give a
military,
fuck.
that was
You're
it. So
like,
he was super bummed out, but I'm proud of him for doing it. He didn't, at least not like one of these chumps that, I can't make it.
Yeah,
They looked at him and was just like, you look fucked up and gross. Get the fuck out of here, ugly.
At Golem, fuck off, go jump.
He's like trying to get the globe and anchor like the precious. So my dad loved all the branches, and his father was a merchant marine, and he was also like, I got a taste of the Marines, and then they also kicked me out because I had psoriasis. He's like, go someplace where they're going to treat you better. He's like, please, anything but the Marines. And so I was like, all right, cool. And I went to go talk to the Army, and the Army recruiter, the first one I talked to, was a fucking liar. My sister was already in, by the way. She's already in the Army Reserves.
Didn't know that.
She got in August 2001. Surprise, surprise.
Oh, wow.
30 days later,
Wow.
9/11 happened. So I'm in high school and she's in basic training. And it's pow. And I'm like, I think my sister's going to go to this, So
Fuck.
yeah. So my recruiter, the first one that I had for the Army, was just like, yeah, we're you're going to win the Marines? Are you trying the Marines? No, man. They're going to get reabsorbed by the Navy, and the Air Force is getting reabsorbed by the Army. It's going to be the Army Air Corps again. So, it's really Army or Navy. Which one do you want? And if you don't want to be Navy, then, be Army. And I was like, oh, really? And I told that to my sister, and she was upset. She's like, who the what? Oh, okay. And if I'm not mistaken, it's hard for me to remember. Either she talked to him on the phone or she came with me to the Army recruiting office and was just like, somebody else talked to my brother. And then I got this awesome guy, Staff Sergeant Reardon, who did not want to be a recruiter. He liked
Salty Dave.
Salty what?
Salty Dave Reardon.
Nope, different guy.
Dave's just timeless.
Yeah.
He was in before. Like, Dave's 80?
What?
He makes our thumbnails.
Wow. Time traveler. So Staff Sergeant Reardon became my recruiter, and he did not want to be there. He was an infantryman, and he was forced. He was like, either you be a drill sergeant or you go to recruiting. You're leaving. And he wanted to go back with the 101 that he had deployed with.
Yep.
And it was the nicest compliment that he ever gave me. He got me in. He just, the MEPS kept my birth certificate for some reason. And so when I got back for my first tour, which is like within a year and a half, 2 years of me joining, he came and knocked on my house, my parents' door, and they're like, "You're Staff Sergeant Reardon's here." I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" He's like, "MEPS has your birth certificate, and they gave it back to me. I don't know why they didn't give it back to you, but here it is." And I was like, "Oh, cool." And he was like, he came in and talked and bullshitted for a little bit. I told him that I just deployed with the 101. I was attached to them. And he was like, "No shit." And I was like, "Yeah." And we talked a little bit. And he gave me a really nice compliment. He's like, "Dude, you were easy." He's like, your PT was good. You came in and you could march and you listened well and you were always on time. I didn't have to hunt you down or call you. You wanted to join and you didn't care what you were in. You just wanted to be in the Army. He's like, "You were so easy to deal with." And I was like, "Oh, that's really nice."
You're like, "Thank you."
And I was like, "You were nice to deal with because you didn't lie to me and tell me that the Air Force was gone and so was the Marines. So that's nice."
He was an infantry dude that, if for people out there that don't know, that was primetime war. But as an E6 to E7, you have to do drill sergeant or recruiter.
You don't have to, but it's almost like, what were you doing? You have to do something that stands out. Like for the Marines, you're either a recruiter, a drill sergeant, or you go do embassy details. And if you don't do any of those three, you're basically like, you're a shitbag. You need to get out. Unless there's some weird circumstance or you did something else that would fill in for that. But it's mainly those three.
And that's why he was just like, "I want to get out of this, go back, get the fuck out of this." Did you go in as a PFC or?
I went in as
E2?
PV1. I was a fucking nothing. But I did like my position of attention and rest positions at the halt and said the soldier's creed. So they on paperwork, he promoted me to E2, but I never had it. So I was a PV2, but I didn't know if I was a PV2 or not. And you get to basic training. And what I didn't want to do was, "Drill sergeant, I don't know what rank I am. Can you help me, please?"
The fear, you're just
I just knew. Yeah. I just knew.
Funny guy went out the window. You're like, you know what's not a Funny Rich right now?
It didn't.
Funny Rich is going to go away for 12 weeks.
No, Funny Rich stayed. Funny Rich just did it.
Oh, God.
Funny Rich just.
With drill sergeant.
Funny Rich was like a gay private in the army. I kept it in the closet. So I closeted my funny like a couple of my buddies closeted their gays because back in the day it was don't ask, don't tell still.
Yep.
But yeah, I was like, you know what? I don't need it. And then also I noticed that like all the privates that had like rank in the few that had college had specialist rank, it would get like rusty and fall off. And I came with BDU, so it was on your lapels and it was on your hat. And I was like, fuck that. I'm just gonna say that I don't. If they ask me, I'm gonna say I don't know. I don't have the paperwork, and so I'm gonna stay in E nothing.
So you don't have to put rank.
I don't have to put rank on. And then if I do have rank, well then I'll put it on when I have to, which is graduation. So there you go.
And your pay is, you get paid no matter what's here.
Oh yeah,
that stays the same.
Even if I don't wear it, like I'm still getting paid that rank. So who gives a shit?
And when you're a private in basic training, you are a piece of shit.
Yeah.
E1, 2, E3. Doesn't fucking matter.
That was one of the moments where I was like, I think I'm smarter than most of the people here in basic training. And so far so good. Although I really could have gone, if I applied myself more, I think I could have gotten a little bit higher than staff sergeant after 20 years.
But soon, Big Papa E7. It's our first class.
Senior drill is going to be coming around soon. Very excited for that.
Dude, what was it? It was my basic training. I had, in my company, I had 19 specialists.
I had like 210.
Oh, sorry. My platoon.
In your platoon?
Yes. So 19 out of 45.
Damn. We had 70 something. It's between, it was like, even like when we dropped people, it was like 65 to 70 people in each platoon. We packed our barracks. Like it was 2000, it was 2005. So everybody was still like, let's go to Afghanistan and fuck them up. And we did.
That was a hula time for this. That was, hey, you're going to, when you talk to your drill sergeant, when you talk to your recruiters, look, you're going to war.
Yeah. It wasn't a matter of when, of if, it was when.
Yeah. That was it.
That was it.
You guys are going to war.
Brennan Herrera we just talked about the numbers in Afghanistan and total deaths. It was 600 to 1.
Jesus Christ.
It's like 4.5 million, 4.2 million to 7,400 American deaths.
And 20, how many years?
20 years. Over 20 years.
That's a good KD.
Dude, the KD is 601.
Dude, that's good leadership, KD. That's up top.
We lost Jimmy. Tactical nuke. Doom.
Just fly up that rank.
It's like every time an American dies, they just lined up a football field and had just an A-10.
When you got out of basic, how long was the in between where you're like, okay, now you're deploying? First deployment.
Less than 30 days.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I was so joined up delayed entry program in December 2004. Basic training
January 5th.
July 2025, and then graduated civil affairs and psyops school at Bragg in January, and deployed February back to Fort Bragg.
That's what. And then you did 15-month deployment.
Yep, it was 15-month deployment. We started in February. We got back in like June.
Did they send you out in patrols? What was your?
Oh yeah, civil affairs. Yeah, we were patrols. Yeah, so it was. My first tour was awesome. Hashtag PTSD. And
that is 2005. Rules of engagement a little bit different.
Yeah,
we tell it 2008.
Dude, kill cones. Oh, kill cones.
Dude, Big Smith.
Kill cones, wherever it's at. Put down an orange cone. You've got a sign on the back of your truck. Pass the cone, you will die. Pass the cone. Just fucking 240s. We had mod deuces in the city, which were, an issue because they were going through a lot of houses. But yeah, like 5 or 6 days out of the week, I was out with line units with my civil affairs team, which was a civil affairs team is awesome because we had a major as our team chief, an E6 as our team sergeant, slotted in the E7 position, a CA sergeant, and then a CA specialist, and I was a CA specialist. So I did a lot of the grunt work where it was stacking up my main tasking was assisting in some projects to better me in the future, like get my hands on like the money that we would spend over there. Civil affairs for the short is USAID, but for DOD, for the Department of Defense. So we would look at a problem and we would see how we could solve it and affect the local populace by either by like projects. Like a very easy thing is you put a well where people need water, and then they like Americans, right? So you're using money, funds, your influence in order to affect a change that you want to affect. And you could be, you can be a little dirty with it, and you could say, we're going to give money to Sunni organizations and not Shia organizations, knowing that Sunni organization is then going to fight the Shias, and then that might bring the Shias over to want to talk with us because they don't want to get blown up anymore. So it's a mix of one of the terms is used as the carrot or the stick, right? Either we're going to assist you in an easier lifestyle and get you to like buy into the American system, or the Iraqi, for them is the Iraqi government, but supported by America. Or we're going to undermine your authority in some other way that's going to make your life more difficult. And then you're going to want to stop that, or you'll be dead.
Kill codes.
Yeah, kill codes. So that's what we did. So I was out on missions all the time, and my main tasking was like the truck, and vehicle maintenance and loading up ammo and having our go bags in case we, got blown up, which I did. And
big explosion, Lou?
Yeah, I got knocked on my ass. It was a car bomb. There's 2 dudes in it, which was strange.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, normally it's one guy, but it was 2.
Uber, he didn't know.
Okay, yeah, one guy jumped in.
Just take a right.
Brother, I need you to take me to get some sandals. Why are you so sweaty?
You missed your right.
Oh no! So yeah, they blew themselves up. Idiots did like way too much propane, not enough explosives. So they put shrapnel in a dude's arm, knocked down a wall, knocked down me on my ass. I had a bad concussion.
Wait, did it blow up like right next to you?
I was probably like 20 yards.
No shit.
20 yards away, 30 yards away.
Just ripped in, or was it actually at a checkpoint and then
we were looking at it was like a cotton picking facility to try and create jobs in the area, because if you give people jobs, they don't have to pick up a rifle, right? And it was a walled off cotton mill gin thing factory, and all their walls over there are concrete, so it was like cinder block wall, and I was on one side of it, and we were leaving, and the lead vehicle was about to leave, but it was getting kind of stuck in the wall, so it was going to back out, and then this is a bad angle, let's back out. And the car came up, and I just remember the guy was in the turret was yelling at the car, and then I'm like talking to my team sergeant, through the gunner's hatch, because I was the gunner that day. And I'm like, something's fucking going wrong. He's screaming at him, and I see him like fucking rack his 240 and get behind it. And I'm like, oh shit, boom, explosion. I'm on my ass in the turret, and then I pop back up. I rack mine. I send a round down, not down range, but I think I dropped a round, because we were like at yellow. We weren't at like red when we loaded our weapons. So one wasn't in the chamber. I think one was just like sitting there waiting. So you had to rack it and then fire. And I scanned my sector, and then after like 5 or 10 minutes, you're just kind of like,
you're looking for a secondary. For anyone out there, you're looking for a secondary or an ambush. So you're just like, oh, scan my sectors. They're super dead.
Mm-hmm. You're like, well, the 2 guys that came after us succeeded in their half, but not on our side. So that was, but yeah, I was out on patrol 5 days a week for the most part, which was fun.
Those are always, it was probably before you deployed then, before I deployed also. It was that terrifying time when you'd watch the guys do checkpoints. Like the soldiers would have to do that. That was my biggest fear going over there. I was like, oh, we have to just do checkpoints. And then you're going to have a VBID come up and then be like, this is great. We had one. East Rashid. I want to say it was Alphabet. We were checking vehicles at houses. We were just clearing a sector out. He goes to open up. We couldn't get a trunk on a vehicle open. We're like, fucking butt. He just pulls out his shotgun. He's like, bah, blows it. And fucking opens it. There's like 300 pounds of explosives that the shotgun just didn't hit.
Because it's too slow. And also, like, it's not supersonic. So it didn't have enough concussive. It didn't have enough pressure to detonate it.
Face?
Like, boom.
Yeah, immediately like, guys, we gotta back up away from this entire area right now.
Does God love me or does he hate me?
Dude, you just see those warheads? I was like, oh, bro, you almost fucking
ate it.
Yeah.
We should probably move.
Yeah, we'll back up actually right now. But that was always like the most terrible. Patrols suck during the day because it's just like day patrols. You're like, oh,
so hot.
Fucking shot. Probably going to get shot. I got to look over.
But you were in Afghanistan. You weren't in Iraq.
I was in Iraq.
Oh, you were in both?
No, just Iraq. We did 16 months in Iraq.
When?
2007, during the surge.
7. That's right. I was already there during the surge. I was going to go down to Baqaba, and they were going to extend me. Or Basra. I'm sorry. It was Basra was becoming a hotbed. And we were going to go down from Kirkuk. Our team was going to be not stop loss, but we were going to be extended for that tour and go down to Basra because it was becoming a hotbed. And they wanted another CA asset down there. And then I don't think our team got tasked with it. I think somebody else did, or they were like, hey, the surge actually worked. This is pretty good, which is actually something that I was like, even as a 19-year-old, 18 and 19-year-old when I was deployed over there, I was like, dude, all we need are some more bodies to swarm this fucking place. And it'll, like, that's going to be the huge thing is we're just too thin. Like, holy fuck.
Bodies at it.
And then they threw more bodies at it. And guess what? There was a peak because everybody was there to fight and we were in the streets all the time. And then we killed a lot of them and they gave up. And so then like after that 2007, like the rules of engagement changed drastically.
Oh, yeah.
Like you said, like after 2008, because we just weren't getting in firefights as much anymore. We had neutralized a lot of the threats and, you know, us shooting up like an entire neighborhood just wasn't the answer anymore.
No. It was like, let's hearts and minds this actually. Let's figure that part out.
Yep. And hearts and minds and soccer balls. That's civil affairs.
Yep. And you check those out. Then you see Type 550 core to it. Check it out. So it just drags along the vehicle. The kids never get it. They just chase the ball.
I didn't do this. It was the civil affairs team. I'm just going to say I didn't do this. I think that's...
I know. Even what I just said, I was like, we might have to delete that. I was like, we were just checking. Like, your soccer ball, the kids were like, as we're driving through town. But they'd be 550 coordinates. So we throw it, and they're like, and then it's just dragging behind the thing.
There was a guy that would beat up the kids and take...
Jesus fuck.
Yeah.
That's way worse than anything we do.
Not a soldier. An Iraqi. War crimes. No.
Just Americans.
Hey, you guys want some candy? Fuck you.
I just don't get why we're not winning this territory over.
They keep blowing us up. Hey, is that kid over there? Pow, pow. So this guy, an Iraqi, would beat up the kids and like take their toys and their jackets or their backpacks whenever they would like hand out stuff in like this certain area. And they would resell it, you know, and they're pieces of shit. So you'd have like this one guy that these people were aware of. And civil affairs handed out soccer balls. So one day they decided that they were going to cut a hole, you know, in the soccer ball, in a little hole, and that they were going to fill it up with water and they were going to freeze it. So they did. So for those of you that don't know, a gallon of water, it doesn't quite fill up a soccer ball. So you need a little bit more. And a gallon is just short of 10 pounds. So imagine now you're going 30 to 40 miles an hour in a Humvee with a 10 plus pound frozen solid soccer ball. And then there's the asshole that keeps beating up kids at the side of the road where he's at most of the time, where you see him. And you go, you. And he's like, oh. And you go, soccer ball. And he's like, oh. And as you're driving by, somebody lofts it to him, and he goes to catch it in his chest because he thinks it's just a normal soccer ball, and he gets folded in half, probably with a broken sternum, because that soccer ball that weighs 10 pounds of frozen water is now going 35 miles an hour into his chest, and he's stationary. So he didn't come back anymore, which is
Mission accomplished.
mission accomplished.
Oh, that would have sucked. Fucking hit. So when you got out, what is immediately like, oh, I'm going to join. You need another drink?
Let's stop and get another one. What was the most difficult unsub episode that you've ever had to be on, and why?
Actually, a recent one.
Is it aired yet?
No.
Can you talk about it?
I don't know. I don't.
Can you say why it was difficult without throwing anybody under the bus?
He drank too much. He used to drink, and I think and he stopped drinking.
Yeah.
So, and I think he stopped drinking for a long time, but then I think he drank at his old pace. So by the end of the 2 hours, he had 12 beers.
Oh,
And
that's...
Yeah. And if you're not drinking anymore, like 2, and I'd be like, bah, I feel good. Like this, I feel fucking good. The dude hadn't drank in forever, so immediately I think that's where it was.
When did it start going south? Like an hour in?
Yeah, about an hour.
An hour in, 6 beers in. That means like what? That's one every 10 minutes,
Yeah.
which is a fairly quick pace. So like first hour, he's got 6 down and he's feeling it, and then like what? Is he like all over the place?
Dude, he was
interrupting.
Not even that. He turned into like, he started like, he's like making fun of the guy. He was just like, he's a troll. Even that, like, it's going to give away who we'll figure out how to do this.
We're probably going to see it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're going to look at unsub. You're going to be like, oh, he's fucking wasted. Jesus.
100%.
Oh, then it's not going to be a secret. It's just going to be.
His content is he trolls. So I think that character took over, and then he just started trolling like everyone. And he tried to troll me, but I just trolled him back. So then he just pivoted. And when he pivoted, though, I was like, God damn, bro, you are saying some brutal shit for dudes you just met.
Oh, man.
And you have to hang out after this. I was like, that's some balls on you, my guy. So it was.
Why didn't you have the perfect fucking guest?
Dude, I look back at that and I'm like, oh, dude, you would have. You good?
Yeah, I dropped my thing. It got stuck to the bottom of it.
It's okay.
I would have gone.
No, it's like. It was one of those weird ones because a lot of the times I have one where I got like shit wrecked. The one with Chris Ramsey. You good?
I'm just grabbing the thing. You're good. Which one's Chris Ramsey? Wasn't he one of the magicians?
Yep, magicians. Yep. So Chris and Wes, on their second time they were here, I got blitzed. And then that episode, everyone knew I was shit wrecked. And then I'm just picking on Brandon. I'm like, Brandon, I fucking hate your haircut. So gay.
That one.
I was shit wrecked.
You Shane Gillis him. You just started making high school jokes.
Bro, I was like, dear God. I knew when I woke up, I was like, oh, I drank way too fucking much. Wes, I don't know if it was that one. He woke up. I showed up the next day before we went to the gun range. I was like, how you guys feeling? And Wes was like, I pissed on my pants last night. I was like, you peed your pants? He was like, no, I took them off and I peed on them. Don't know why. I was like, my guy, what?
He got so drunk he thought there was another man in his bed. He's like, I need to claim this space and dominance.
And he just took
This is
him off,
my territory.
put him on the ground, peed on him. He's like, I don't remember a fucking thing. And then Chris got shit. Dude, those are, have you met them? You've met them, right?
The magicians?
Yeah.
No.
Fuck, dude, you want some of, when we met them, those are probably some of my favorite first time guests, and then now have become really good friends because we pulled up. I didn't know they were from Canada. I watched Chris Ramsey's fucking exactly.
Him breaking apart the boxes, the mystery, the puzzles.
Dude, yeah, I loved his fucking puzzle videos.
It's like ASMR for me. I would sit there and I'd be like, jiggle the thing, touch the other stuff.
Spin it,
shake it. Sometimes you got to shake it. Sometimes you got to shake the shit out of it. Shake it. He's giving up. He has to shake it. And
dude, and I would be addicted to that. So when he was like, oh yeah, I'll come down. I was like, fuck yeah, man. Both of you come down. We pull up. They just parked like 10 minutes before. We're pulling up. They're drinking. They have their hood open. They're just drinking out the back of their cars. Like, we're going to get along. And then just immediately.
Canadian bros.
Yeah, bro. And then going to the gun range. They had a blast.
Whereabouts in Canada?
They're in Toronto, north of Toronto.
Bro!
Oh, yeah. I'm supposed to go visit them. Dude.
I'm an hour away from Toronto.
Then we need to go. We'll go all together and visit them. I'd be down. Chris and Wes, I'm coming. But you will have a blast hanging with them. They're some of the best dudes and have the most wild stories because they are that top echelon of magicians. So they're like their 2-story plane. They flew to Dubai because the Dubai people
wanted them to be there.
Yeah.
Did they make them the human porta potties too?
No,
They
I
just
don't
made the
think
poop
so.
disappear.
They're like, make the prostitute disappear. Do the magic thing.
I'm going to shit on you, and then you make the poop, you make the caca go away.
Dude, but they say this like they're flying. The tickets per flight was like 30 or 50 grand per ticket for the airplane.
Oh, for first class.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They put it. Dude.
Somebody bought them that.
Oh, yeah. Dude, the Dubai guys. And like, they have a picture Wes did where it's a 2-story plane. Like, he's looking down at like the peasants because they're drinking for free. And both of them were like, you had your own like room in this plane. So they would come knock on the door, see if you needed anything. Anything. So like Wes went up. He's like, I'm going to go get a drink. He's like, well, no. He's like, well, I want Johnny Walker. I don't know why. He's like, I'll bring you Johnny Walker Blue. Everything's comped because it's a fucking $50,000 plane ticket. But he was like, these dudes would follow you around the plane and whatever you wanted to just take care of. Like, that's a different level of money. But those are probably my favorite guests. I want you to meet them because you will instantly bro out with them. And they love being on stage. That's why they were on 2 of the shows was because of that.
Performers. They're just natural performers.
They're going to kill it no matter what. They're used to being on stage. This was like, okay.
That would be a fun thing to bring on a live show.
They were on live show.
Which one?
They were
in the first 4.
Yep.
And before you realized what true greatness was.
Once I seen a Richard High and learned that you were a theater kid that played an army soldier, I immediately knew this is the direction we're taking these live shows.
That was the only show that I missed was them
in Austin.
In Austin.
And they killed it because they did magic on stage.
Which is, a stage thing. It's a very good thing to do.
And they interacted with the crowd, and it was so natural for them. And they were like, yeah, they're used to it. That's fucking secondhand, just like you. It was Rich is used to it. Anytime we have awkward anything, Rich is going to cover down. Like, no matter what, they were going to cover down. But it is so specific when you're choosing who to bring on stage. Because they can go south really fast, and that's the most terrifying part. That's why once we had you for a couple shows, I was like, okay, fucking Rich, hands down, will be at the next tour. Like, he's just part of this now. And then we talked about earlier, I was like, kind of conceptual. I was like, I think Rich needs to be part of this. I was like, military stories and story time.
Who came up with the term kind of consensual?
That was Nick. I will give him all the credit.
He got that one.
That was Nick. That was fucking genius. Nick texted it, and then he texted graphics, and then the audience, everyone liked different graphics, but the one that we picked for everything was the audience, because I do not give a fuck what I like. I care what everyone else is like. I like that immediate response. I'm like, okay, that's what everyone's going to like in general, but that's how everything came to be. Nick came up with kind of consensual, the name. Once it was, hey, we should do a military podcast, blah, blah, blah. He was like, I got a name for it. He texted me kind of consensual. I was like, bro, okay, yep, done. Fucking genius. And then after that, worked perfectly. Also, thank you for being a guest.
I like being a guest on that.
Just so thankful for it.
Follow-up question.
Nope.
Have there ever been unsub episodes that you've been like, we can't air that one?
Man, the only one we haven't aired was because it was fucking shit audio.
That's it? There wasn't one where you're just like, we can't put this on. That person sucks. This is a bad conversation. They went too far.
We would have just cut out the too far. I love content. But
Been there before.
Well, we've been here. We're fucking using it. But the audio was corrupted, so we couldn't use it. I just physically couldn't do it. But past that, from episode 1 to whenever, we've always, the one I would have removed would have been trashed Eli picking on Brandon's haircut.
Yeah, but that's funny.
I'm like, that's the one I'm like, but I was like, nope, full send. Let it fucking live out in the ether forever. I don't care. This is life now.
Interesting.
Now I get my follow-up question.
I thought that there would have been, like, because you're at what? You're almost at like 300 episodes, right?
209.
Oh, okay. So we just passed, you just passed 200.
Look at you. You're just, it's as much as yours as it is.
It's not even close, but it's not even close. I'm riding your coattails.
You're the permanent live on the live shows. You are there.
Yeah, on the live shows I'm there, but I'm a reoccurring guest.
Now I want to know, when you got out of the military, was it immediately to police work, or because of your job in the military?
Well, I mean, I'm still in now, right? It was after my second tour.
Oh, I know you're still in now, and you're a police officer still.
I'm a big deal. Yeah.
He doesn't have to.
But I do.
That's what, dude. That's why you will get so much props from me, and you are the. Well, I had like zero hesitation with bringing on you, kind of consensual Pepperbox. It's your work ethic is next level, and I appreciate that more than anything when it comes to friendships. Because if you put that much hard work and dedication to yourself and your work, you're going to do the same, chances are, with your friendships. Like,
it's hard for me to half-ass things. I'm already there. If half of a cheek is on the seat, why not just bring the other cheek on over? Double cheek it up. On a Tuesday afternoon.
and you
Is this your whole like interview? Is your whole say hi to Eli? Is you like buttering up your friends on this?
I know it is, dude. My favorite thing is it's talking to them like this. And
Are you gonna kill yourself? Is this your
right
goodbye
after this?
No,
This
you're just
is
like
that's welcome to episode 100. That's what I was gonna do.
you're just gonna. I want to say goodbye to everybody on a podcast and say how much I love them, and then it's off into the darkness.
say bye to Eli.
Say bye to Eli. He shot himself right in the face. He's dead now. His blood is all over the place. It's kind of sad, but he wanted it that way. Too bad that his mom found him dead.
She's dead also.
Well, she met you. She was like hovering over you. She's like, no, and then boom. You stabbed yourself in the neck. You missed the first time you stabbed yourself in the cheek.
Shit happens.
You know?
It hurts, or maybe it's the opposite.
You're like, fuck, shit.
No.
Inside joke.
I like for everyone out there to understand, hey, what hard work is, and I think a lot of the guys exemplify that. You included. You have 2 fucking jobs.
I got 3 jobs.
I know. That's what I said. You do that, and then on top of relationship, you're still creating content, and not just a little content. You're rolling out content, whether that is angry cops, kind of consensual, but that work ethic is there no matter what. And you're so fucking positive. That's why immediately it was, hey, episode 2, Rich should be part of Kinda. Also, Rich will thrive on the live shows. How can we incorporate him more? He holds himself at such a standard, and he's an amazing friend. Bring him in. Those are the people you want to surround yourself with too. Like, hands down, those are the friends you want, and those are the people in your life. Because show me your 5 best friends, I'll show you who you are. Mm-hmm. If you have people like yourself as a friend,
Probably mentally retarded.
but hard worker,
Yeah.
fucking hard worker.
My brain went right to like abuse of the mentally retarded. My brain went to like it's 1810 and they're like, Rich is an idiot and can't read so good or talk to people, but man, he is amazing at working on that railroad.
Dude, look at him swing that hammer.
Eli, I keep hitting the metal thing until my ears hurt again. Do I get a break now? Yeah, you get your break because your ears hurt, Richard. Okay, we're friends.
Mars don't hurt no more. Immediately back to 1.
Okay.
That's my favorite aspect, and that's what I want everyone out there to see is like what it takes to get to that next level if they want to pursue that. But also, holy shit, it's surrounding yourself with people like this that will make a huge difference in your life. And then also the hardships all of you have dealt with. No one in the group got handed a golden ticket. None of us were born rich.
We all found each other like through work. You know what I mean? Like we were all at like some place where we were growing our channels, and we weren't at like the peak at where we are, you know. Some of us peaked and and are dying. I'm gonna go to the darkness like Eli did.
Can I take a break?
I need to take one of that sharp swords and put it in my face right now. But it was funny to see like us, you know, we weren't at our peaks yet. I don't think we were even at halfway to where we are now. But we all look at each other and we're like, we're fucking grinding this out. We've all been doing it for years in one way or another. And either we love it, we all love it because it's just something that we've committed so much time to, even if it's a hobby or even if you're trying to make it a career. We were always kind of like, yeah, I'm doing this and you're doing that. And years ago, and we talked about it before we started on this, like my favorite saying, and I said it to Zach before we all really linked up with an unsub before it became what it is now. And yeah, I told Zach, I was like, dude, a rising tide lifts all ships. If we can all make it together, we're going to be fine. And fuck, I'll promote you, you promote you. And you see it in business all the time, especially in social media, like when Vine was big and you had like King Batch and Logan Paul and like all those other creators go to LA and they all had the same apartment complex. And what did they do? They made videos with one another, promoted one another, wrote, edited, and grew with one another, and they all came up. And then they all told Vine that they needed to pay them, and then they killed Vine, which was a fantastic platform.
It's one of my favorite stories.
Now we've got TikTok that's stealing all our fucking data. Because Amanda Cerny and King Batch can't keep their fucking mouths shut.
It's an actual true story. They went into the meeting with the owners of Vine, told them they need to be paid and all that, and then the owner of Vine was like, all right, I just fucking killed the app.
Killed it. It was like losing money. First of all, I don't know how Vine is losing money. They did a great job of having a viral concept, and then like, dude, throw an ad in like every 20 fucking videos or 50. Who gives a shit? And if Amanda Cerny comes up to you and says, you need to pay us, be like, sweet, there are 30 million users that will step in. You dumb bitch. We're making like $0 right now, and you want to be paid how much? Go somewhere else. Start up your own thing. God bless. Once we start making money, we'll help you out. But right now, we don't. I think it was a great business that was just run poorly. How do you not make money on something that everybody in the world is dying to get on?
I think it was that new wave of the social media was so new then, and then even now you get to watch the legacy media and the people that run it trying to figure out how to even approach what we're doing.
I have a question.
It's
a quick question.
No, because I asked you when the police thing started, when you were like, hey, I want to do this, and you never answered it.
I was done with my second tour. I came back in the end of the summer of 2010, and I took actually before we left, I took the trooper exam, and I fucked myself and didn't become a trooper by accident. Because we were deploying, I told the trooper recruiter, because I passed. I scored.
What the fuck is a trooper exam?
New York State Troopers.
Is there an exam for that?
What's that?
I don't know any of this.
A New York State Trooper?
I know that, but I didn't know there's like a trooper exam or any of that.
Yeah, you have different exams for like the county or the city, to be a sheriff, to be a local cop, or to be a city cop or the state cop.
See?
So
95% probably were like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. So between my two tours in like 2008 or 9, I took and passed the New York State Trooper exam, and I was like, because I kind of wanted to do policing. And
why?
I don't know, it just always seemed kind of cool. And at that point in my life, I didn't really know what I was going to do in college. I was going to college. I was getting the basics done, but I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do. I just knew that, hey, everybody needs a degree, and I'm using the GI Bill. Like, where do I take this? Do I use it all up on something I'm not sure about? What if I take a civil service exam and try to be a cop for a little while? Because a friend of mine was a cop, and he's like, it's fucking awesome. It's like a deployment every day, except you get to sleep in your own bed, eat good food, but you get a gun, and you get a fucking bulletproof vest, and you get to run down bad guys. And I was like, oh.
Yeah. And you still get to shoot minorities.
Well, I mean, perks of the job. That's a joke. I haven't shot anybody yet.
I just picture this. No, I can't even make that.
But in 2008 or 9, I took the trooper exam and I passed it, and I was on the first like group of people to get like canvassed. And I told them, hey, I messed up. If you tell them, hey, I'm being deployed, I can't go, like I can defer going to the academy. That's one thing. I told them, oh, hey, I'm being deployed. I can't be canvassed at this moment. And I didn't like give them my orders because I didn't have any at the moment. So basically, I ended up accidentally fucking myself and said, I didn't say it, but basically,
how they interpreted
I'm not going to come in for the interview because I have Army in the future and I don't know when.
You thought you were saying something else. They interpreted it completely different.
The guy didn't know what to do with it. And so then I came back home and for my tour, and I was like, man, I haven't gotten any calls from the troopers. That's weird. I called them up. I'm like, hey, listen, I got canvassed a while ago. I took the exam and like, I haven't got a call back. I got deployed. What's the deal? And they're like, yeah, you didn't show up to get like height and weight and like anything. I was like, yeah, I was getting deployed. And they're like, we don't have any of that in our files. And I could have fought that. Like little did I know, I didn't know that, but I could have fought that and sent them my deployment, my orders, and been like, you need to give me a shot, which is the law. It's federal law. You can't prevent 100%. Somebody from getting, you can't fire somebody or prevent them from a job opportunity because they're called to active duty status, right? And I didn't know I could fight it, but I was like, fuck it, whatever. You know, I'll just continue with my education. So I get back in 2010. I go to college for 2 years, and I take the Buffalo police exam, and I fucked up again in a good way. So I thought, now for most civil service exams in New York State, and I'm pretty sure across the country, you get veterans points. So meaning if I score a 90 on the exam, but I'm a veteran, I show up with a DD-214, they scan it, and then they give me additional 5 points.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And if you're a disabled veteran, you get 10 points. Whoa. Right, because they get federal money for that. You know, hey, you hired a veteran. Hey, you hired a disabled veteran. Here's more grant money from the federal government, right? So I thought that if you use it once, you're done, which is true. I used it on the New York State police exam for the troopers, right? But I didn't get the job. So I could use it as much as I want until I take the job that I use my points on. So if I don't take a job, I can use my points as much as I want.
Again.
But the second that I take a job that I use my points on, points are no longer null and void. So I go to Buffalo and I'm just like, hey, no, I'm not going to use my veterans points. And they're like, cool. I take the test, or I'm about to take the test, and somebody informs me that I filled out the paperwork wrong. I can use my veterans points because I didn't take the trooper job. I'm like, oh, fuck. I go to the exam. I see the people there at the desk writing people's names down, making sure they're checking us in, giving us the paper. And I go, hey, I checked no on do you want to use your veterans points. I misunderstood it. I wanted to check the box yes. I was told I could bring my DD-214 here and that you would apply the veterans points to my test.
Oh my God, he is disabled.
Yep. They're like, wow, you are honest and you are retarded. You'll make a great cop.
Give me the quail.
You're gonna be horrible. You're supposed to lie if you want to be a good cop. No, he had a gun the whole time, I swear. So I give them the stuff. I'm like, sweet. I take the exam. I score very high on it, and I'm on that exam from that promotion or from that exam. I'm part of the first batch of hirings for BPD. I go through the whole process, the canvassing, the medical, and they call me up. How they call me up is funny. I'm at the bar with my buddy, and he's a cop in a town. And I tell him, yeah, man, you never know if you pass the next part of the Buffalo police, application program until they just call you up from a blocked number and say, are you ready for the next one? And then just tell you when it is. Like, that's it. They just call you and you hope you can answer the phone, and it's from a blocked number, so you don't even know. And as I say this, my phone rings from a blocked number, and I'm like, oh, I gotta take this. Hello, Richard, hi, yeah? Hello? Laughter in the background. Look over, he's dying laughing, calling me from a blocked number. Star 69 is fucking number. I'm like, you piece of shit. You piece of shit.
Good friend.
5 minutes later, my phone rings, blocked number. Fuck you, dude. He's like, that's not me. I'm like, yeah, whatever. He's like, dude, pick up the phone. I go, dude, fuck you. I'm not falling for your shit. He's like, pick up the phone right now or I'll pick it up. I'm like, I'm not going to pick it up. He grabs my phone. He's like, it's not me. Here's my phone. Pick it up right now. Yeah, I pick it up. It's the captain of the academy for Buffalo, Captain Man, who's the shit. He helped me out on a call one time. It was very funny. And he's like, do you want to be a Buffalo cop? I'm like, yes, I do. He's like, all right, you need to show up tomorrow in a suit. And I'm like, sweet. So I tell you all this because here is the end part of the story and why I brought all this other shit up. I go in. Everybody thinks I'm an asshole. Everybody in my academy classes, they're like, oh, he's got his fucking high and tight hair. He's very stern, and I'm just like, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Roger that. I know how to turn it on, right? Yeah. And they're like, this guy's going to be a fucking dick. They start calling off names of who's here, and who's signing up. And they go, these are the people, because you've accepted this position, you've used your veterans points. So-and-so, 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 so-and-so. Not me. And I go, I raise my hand. Excuse me, sir. I have a question. He's like, what's your question? I go, I'm a veteran. I thought that I had used my points when I took the exam. I made a mistake. I corrected it, but I thought I used my points. And he goes, according to the paperwork that the city has, you have it. And I go, well, I still got the job. Like, that's cool. He's like, you know what? That's a really good thing, because those points, instead of being used to get the job, you can use them in the future for promotion. So if I go for detective or lieutenant and I get a 90, I'm a disabled veteran, I get 95 now. So I could beat people, and that's actually huge because it's added on to the very end. After all the cumulative testing and all the bullshit, you get, 5 more points.
That's a huge fucking
deal. Unfortunately, the department skipped me on like 4 exams because I made social media videos, and I never had to use them because they just said, we're not promoting you, period. So I scored number 1 on lieutenant, number 1 on detective, and I scored in like the top 5 several times. Like the overall score, I was number 1 in lieutenant, number 1 in detective, and then like next test I was number 2 in detective, number 3 in lieutenant, but I never got promoted off those lists. And then the time I got promoted, 2 years ago when I got promoted finally, they had gone down the list and skipped me. So then by the time that the next batch of promotions was supposed to be like, okay, now we're going to promote Rich. Well, they had skipped me and gone down the line of so many people. What they scored was my additional 5 points didn't matter.
So you got to keep them again?
So I still have my points for promotion, and I'll never use them because I'm not going to be a lieutenant and I'm not going to be a detective sergeant. I found my place. So I've just got veterans points for the fucking future that I could just make it rain with. Most frustrating thing ever.
That's fucking wild. Now, so police officer, military, and then in that's when you were like, I want to make some internet videos.
Oh yeah, I did. In college, I was doing the stand-up and improv, and then I became a cop, and the hours didn't match. You couldn't do the same.
No.
Like if there was an open mic night, couldn't do it. I was working for stand-up. There was improv. You do a practice at the beginning of the week so you can warm up and work with a group that you're about to work with on the weekend. And then you would do the shows on the weekend. Well, I could make one, but not the other. That didn't work. And then they would schedule me out like when I could do it, it'd be like 3 months later. And I'd forget. And they'd call me up like half an hour before the show and be like, where are you? And I'd be like, fuck, I'll be there in 20 minutes. My bad. I'm sorry. It's been so long since you called me up. And so then eventually they let me go, which was the right thing to do. I can't blame them. That was on me. I wasn't I wasn't making it on time, and the job was getting in the way. So I started doing, Vine, and then it was Instagram and Facebook, and then YouTube.
No shit. So
And then
that
TikTok
order.
until they booted me off because there were so many fake accounts that they said that my shit was inauthentic, even though all the shit that was stolen from me was posted months, days, years after I posted it. So I started it all over again, but I'm not really interested in that shitty ass platform that doesn't talk to any of its creators.
No. And
Facebook too. Facebook, garbage. TikTok, garbage. They don't talk to any of its creators. They're going to make millions and billions off of all these people, but you can't even get like a 1-800 helpline for when you accidentally do the wrong thing and delete my 1.4 million followers on TikTok.
Savs went through a 500,000 account and another 200,000 account. She's had 2 accounts deleted. And there's no TikTok is almost as bad as Meta. Meta we were talking about earlier. There's just zero.
Oh, I think TikTok's the worst. They don't even talk to you. Meta, they'll be like, hey, there's an issue. You can dispute it. TikTok was like, your videos are inauthentic. I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean?
I am angry. I am the angry cop.
I'm the dude. Pretend to be the dude that's disguised as another dude.
So what was it? Vines? What was your first video that really, bumped you into, I'm going to do this and then I'm going to continue doing this?
Nah, it was always a hobby. There was never a video that made me be that was like, this is my direction now. It was always
Even
like,
now to this day, do you have that same feeling?
Yeah, no, it's just each video's success is like a round of applause.
No shit.
Yeah, it's like I'm really bad. Like I look at the analytics and see what's going right and do better and try to make things like more focused? Yes. But I do the jokes and the things because I like them. And then if people like it, that's just like, it's like telling a joke and see how loud the applause is.
And I think that's why you're super successful. I will say
I'm mediocrely successful. I'd be super successful if I applied some of the analytics a little bit more.
I think with everything
that's
rolling
a
out,
fucking true. Don't bullshit me.
Fuck off. In 2 years, where do you think you will be with everything that's going on? How like unsub you're growing with that kind of consensual pepper box?
I think
You'll be in a good place. And I will say it is, you're doing it for the right reasons because you're not chasing a paycheck, which is why you continue to do it. You're not looking at the analytics and you're not like, oh, well, it's not worth my time. That is where I think you watch so much failure is even when I did, I never was doing it because initially, hey, I'm going to make this much money. I just wanted to learn stuff and get better. That's where you have that downfall. It's like chasing a paycheck and you expect it to happen in like 6 months. You did it how long before you've seen a single dollar?
Oh, dude, I was doing stand-up and before, like, let's not even talk about social media. I was doing in-person, like, live comedy for free for years just because that's who I am and I loved it.
Yep. And that's why you are successful at it now is you loved it. That was the passion. It wasn't the money. It was, I want to make people laugh, and then you figure out how to do that with content, and then you figure out how to do stand-up.
Yeah.
And now you are successful in this endeavor.
I think I'm going to be exactly where I am right now.
I'll bet. What do we want? What do we wager on this? I bet you are infinitely bigger.
Let me explain what I mean. Okay. Let me explain. So then, because you're going to be proven wrong. I'm never wrong. Take that to the bank. So I think that the unsub universe, which we're in, has gained me new followers, right? Like people are aware of who I am. They think I'm funny. They enjoy me on the show, right? But that's me as like a guest. That's not me as like, I like Rich. I like Rich as a guest, right? So that's different. And I think that's going to bring people to my channel that maybe don't know who I am and are going to eventually like me and follow me for just being me and not being a guest on the show. But what I think that's going to do is I think it's going to replace the people that I lose on YouTube. So let's say that YouTube is my main focus, like, right? Because that's the largest following that I have. And I've been on there for quite a long time. So I'm at 1.4 million subs now. And even though I've grown in subs, right? I've had about the same viewership numbers per video, right? Since I've had like 800,000. And like, this isn't like a brag. I'm just saying just analytically, since I've had 800,000 followers, the amount of views that I have on my videos has ebbed and flowed about the same from that growth of 800,000 to the 1.4 million that I have now, right? So a 600,000 follower growth, but the views have kind of, ebbed and flowed and stayed around the same viewership area, right?
Yeah.
So I think that that's what's going to happen. I think that more people will kind of know who I am because of the unsub world, because I'm associated with it. And I think that part of what you're saying is I do it because I love it. And also, like, I feel like sometimes I got to air out the dirty laundry so then people can like look at it. Which is, it's what you do when you're a drill sergeant. You call out the stupid and you say, fucking fix that.
Well, you're truthful to the audience. I think that's what they super appreciate. It is you being real, and they can connect with that.
Oh, people smell out a fake. People will smell out a fake real quick.
So fucking fast.
Yeah, and I put my career, like military, police, and YouTube, I put all those careers on the line at least once over the past like 5-6 years. Like at least once. All of them. So like you can't.
Even at the live show you did. Atlanta.
Nah. People in Atlanta love me. They knew who I am. Ain't no snitching in Atlanta.
But it is. I think you'll have in the next 2 years, with how your Pepperbox viewership is, you're building a more dedicated, loyal audience, and as Pepperbox expands, you will see YouTube grow. Your average will go up about 20 to 25%. Pepperbox will continue to increase, which is extremely loyal fan base, especially with the live shows later this year. You're just getting a more dedicated audience that really rally behind anything you do. That's what my projected goal.
So I think I've already had that. Like before Unsub had a dedicated audience, and I'm not shitting on Cody or Brandon, but I think I had the most dedicated audience.
Oh, yeah.
Before, like, everybody came to where they're at, right? And I want to say part of that is because of, like, they could smell a fake. They know when I would put my career on the line and they know when I would get emotional about, like, protecting troops because I really do care about the troops.
Yeah, 100%. You care about, like, if I can't stress that enough to the listeners right now, it is like you care about all these aspects of it, from the troops to policing, and then you also really are truthful about it. Like there is no punches.
Yeah, like here's the way that it is. You may not like it, but I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not going to lie to you, but I'm going to tell you the way that it is. But so even like for the longest time, JT from Black Rifle Coffee, we got it in like a fun spat, like a little like Instagram Twitter war thing.
Oh, beef.
And he called me up. He's like, dude, call off the dogs. Call off the dogs. He's like, your following is insane. Like we're joking and they're not threatening him, right? But like when it comes to, hey, I'm going to poke the bear and I want you to poke me back and we're going to see like, we're going to battle it out in the comments. My followers were like, the fuck did you say? Wham! Yeah, and that's the way that they are in my comment section too. Is I'll every once in a while I'll get a retard that says something dumb. So like Twitter is a weird space where you get shit on by everybody, right? There's all these barking noises are coming around, right? And in Twitter, I'll have somebody write a dumb comment to me, and I'll be like, I'll give you an example. Like I wrote about like, hey, this doesn't make sense about policing today. And then somebody goes, makes sense. You probably served overseas and are a bootlicker for Israel. And I'm like, that has nothing to do with anything I just said. So that's Twitter, right? And in Twitter, there's so many weird comments like that nobody really just responds to it. They just ignore
one
it,
view.
Which is kind of the right thing anyway, because it's a troll being stupid. On YouTube, that's a different world. And also Instagram. That's a different world. If you come onto my YouTube, especially my YouTube, and you shit on me for something that doesn't make sense, or you misinterpret a video in the wrong way and try to put your skew on it, my comment section will f you up. They will fuck you up. Right? I used to do it every once in a while. I'd be like, oh, look at this retard. I don't have to. My comment section will fuck you up. Because they get me. They're like, no. You may not like what he has to say, and you might disagree with him every once in a while, but this guy fucking cares, and he's not, and he's going to tell you it exactly the way that it is, without any sort of sweetener or frills. He's going to go, no, this fucking sucks, and here's why. I bet you wish that it could be great for these reasons, and I wish it could be too. But guess what? Reality is it sucks.
Dude, I love our audience. So, like your audience, our audience. It is, well, I forget it. It was something about, it was an episode on autism, and one of the comments on YouTube was bitching about it. They're like, you can't say that, or blah,
on
blah,
unsub?
blah. Yeah, on unsub YouTube comments. And my only response to that was like, I replied, was like, man, you're about to hate this. And I just pinned his comment to the top. I just pinned it.
Yeah.
And then dude deleted that comment within a fucking day.
Oh, yeah.
Like, nope, not fucking with them. Like, no. And then they will disappear indefinitely. And that's where
I've done
they
that too.
never come back. They never fucking come back.
Oh, I've done that too. I've had guys that have just like, this YouTube channel doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, I've only done that once or twice where it was somebody that was just like, they said the right dumb thing where I was like, oh man, like you're a shit person for even like, one, you don't listen. Two, the thing that you said is just horrible. And three, like, fuck you, pin. I've only done it once or twice.
Dude, they are savage.
Oh, yeah.
The audience just fucking rips them apart. And you're like, oh, I learned mine from, what was it, Levy, Gotham Chess. Gotham Chess, he's like a chess YouTuber. Massive, fucking massive. In a single year, he grew like 6 million subs. Yeah. Like every video is doing like, he does 30 minutes to an hour videos, and they're getting like 2 to 6 million per upload. Every day he's doing 1 to 2 uploads.
I love talking business with you. It's so much fun to talk business. This is going to get no views unless you like inside baseball on YouTube and social media. This is going to do so.
They're going to do so good.
Nick's video, 250,000 views. Angry Cops, 10,000 views.
No, this is, dude, Nick's, everyone, read the comments about Nick's video because Nick talked about his childhood. It was all aspects no one's ever heard of.
Everybody's heard all my shit already. I live my life in a fishbowl. You can't, like, there's
know
nothing,
any of this.
There's nothing that I haven't said already.
I didn't know any of this. I'm going to pin that.
Oh, you're a
to the
horrible
top.
friend.
Yeah,
but like I still
know
accept
that.
you. It's because you're rich and I'm trying to scam you. Like,
I'm
you know.
autistic. I don't care what my friends do.
That's just being a man. That's being a man.
That is great. Walk away.
Like, we went to go golf. What'd you guys talk about? I don't know. I don't remember. Did you? Is he still dating that person? I don't know. What? What do you mean you don't know? Well, we were just golfing and drinking. Our brains shut off for a while. That's why we enjoy each other's company.
Yeah, I was just shut everything off.
Talked about Metal Gear Solid for an hour and a half.
The greatest thing. Gotham Chess, crushing it. He pins all the people that say dumb shit. He just that's every fucking video. He just pins it to the top. I was like, that is a genius approach to trolls.
Yeah.
Because then I got to watch them just get completely destroyed, delete their channel, everything like that. I was like, I'm going to have to implement that sometime. So just.
I had one video I did a while ago, and it was Drill Sergeant Reed's angry comments. And I put my hat on and my BDU top on, and I read angry comments on this one video. I forget what it was specifically, but the Afghan terrorist organization did not like it, and neither did their supporters. And so they were like shitting on me. And I just like went down the line and started fucking picking on them, and I made a video out of it. Honestly, it was like 3 or 4 years ago. I don't even know how good it is, but I had legit like dudes that were like, "We are from blah blah blah, and we will fucking kill you." And listen, we support. And I was like, "Yo, you're a terrorist. Sweet." I'm trolling terrorists in my YouTube comments. Like, that was a cool time. I really like that.
So confused. I go to one of your videos, the top comment, I can't read it because it's in Arabic.
It's all like squiggly.
I'm like, what the?
You know how I feel about the squiggly. You know how I feel about the squiggly.
Do you hate Jax?
Who?
Mandeville's his tattoo?
No. No, I don't hate. Do you not? Were you not there for that episode of Kinda Consensual? The squiggly lines. How I can tell whether or not you're a friend or a foe of the United States is if you have squigglies in your flag.
I think that was the one I missed.
Yeah, if you have squigglies in your flag, that is a tier 1. Look out! They probably aren't friendly to the United States nations.
If it looks like a flag was made by a kindergartner, right?
Well, I just say squiggly lines. If it's got squigglies, ISIS, squigglies, no good.
Look, and it look,
Hezbollah, squigglies, no good.
and they look like a fucking kindergartner did with crayon.
Yeah.
I love that sound. It's like a crayon sound.
ASMR.
I was doing the
Shut up so they can hear it. All right, go ahead. Move your mic. We both got to do it.
first thing nothing.
There you go.
The whole segment.
It's ASMR.
It's gonna get millions of views.
This
now.
is the weirdest
Instantly.
ASMR. That's the hook. That's the clip that you play in the beginning about like when we start talking about stuff and you know it's like to draw them in. It's gonna be like, hey, listen to this. I'm addicted to it.
You get 5 seconds of that and then punch in for 2 seconds in slow mo. Golden.
Beautiful.
So what? Out of all your videos you have done, what is your favorite personal one?
That's not a fair question. So that's like asking me like what my favorite music band is. Like there's different genres of music, and so I would have like different answers for that.
Music band,
Yeah. So
not band.
Yeah, music band. You never heard a guitar band? Oh, I'm sorry. Is plural too hard for you? I can't use singular.
I like music bands.
Music band. Like my favorite music band. Anywho, before my dad got upset at my English and grammar.
Sorry, I found that weird.
He said English band. Dickhead. So I have like genres, right? I've got different types of videos that I make. The Angry Drill Sergeant ones are usually really popular. I started trying to do a longer form one. One of the better ones that I did was the fake basic training with the fake Navy SEALs. So those ones do really well. But what I really like is when I can write a sketch. My favorite things to do are I take something like at SNL, right? There's an event that happens and I create my own sketch from it. I write everything or it's all from me. What were you going to say?
I was going to say one of my favorite sketches dude, the mustard with you and JT.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, sketch comedy extremely difficult. People do not understand how hard it is to write comedy or film it. Beats and then filming and how to show that visually, extremely difficult. Mustard. Brother, I think
So
I
good.
texted you when I watched it. I was like, bro.
Matt texted me. Everybody texted me because that was before like I was big, but I was new to like guys in Black Rifle Coffee, you, Donut. Like I was starting to meet all these. Well, I say like, you know, the Unsubscribe universe or the Black Rifle Coffee universe. It's like it's the Texas universe. There's so many people that create stuff in Texas that I've met, and I take credit for half of that video because you and I both know JT.
Yeah.
And JT, like I said before, is a spaz in a good way. Very creative, but he likes to do chaos humor, right? And he's like, I want you to show up and like and ask me like if I did anything and I've got mustard all over my face. And I'm like, all right, but where is this going? It's got to have a direction. And why am I asking you these questions? And I was like, here's the deal. So he has the whole thing. You come in, you see me, I've got mustard on my face. He asked me if I've got mustard on my face, and I say no. And then where do we go from there? And my point of view was, I had like, hey, what did we say about lying? And he's like, honesty is the foundation of all successful relationships. And I'm like, yes. Dude. Yes. You know, I turned it into like a real moment.
Dude, it was a fable. Like you had, it was 3 acts and it was fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
Done.
So it had direction. Like he did something, he lied about it. What did we talk about? There's a history. It's our relationship. And we have some growth that we need to do. And he made it by being honest with me. There's a lot of depth in that, right? And that's what makes people enjoy it, think it's funny, watch it again and again, right? And so he had like, I want to say like 80% of the brain power of thinking what it was. And I was like 20% of, all right, but how do we make it work? And then
make it relatable.
Yeah. And then of course there's the other randomness in there too of like, I'm reading a nudie magazine. I've got a nudie magazine all the way down, and I look over at it. I'm like, hey, like that's normal. It's like this. It's the right amount of chaos, and there's Easter eggs in it that you can look at later and be like, wait, was that a nudie magazine? But the skit itself stands on its own and has depth, right? Even though it's a very shallow, weird thing. Yeah, that's one of the best ones that I've had. One of my favorites though that I've created is I really like doing this guy called Mahmoud for Mahmoud's Military Menagerie. And obviously I was really upset when we pulled out of Afghanistan. Thanks, Joe Biden. And that was a mess. And, what do you do if you're a fucking veteran and bad shit happens? Like your buddy dies, you get blown up, you got TBIs, you get PTSD. You fucking make jokes about it.
Gallows humor.
So, yeah, gallows humor. So I was like, dude, think of all the weapons that, like, if I just had $100,000 or $1 million, I could go over there in a private jet and just get so many automatic weapons. How great would that be? And I was like, oh my God, it's an Afghanistan fire sale. And then I was like, what is a really cheesy commercial? It's like, come on down to so-and-so's. We've got these. And it's just bad. It's just bad. But it's so bad it's good. And so I was like, and I love alliteration. I love it when words rhyme. Mahmoud's Military Menagerie. Boom, 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 right? So it's got this great ring to it. And I just love that it's just like this nondescript, accent. Where do you think I'm from? I bet you can't tell. Is it in the Middle East? Is it Russia? Or do you think I'm from a small European country that you don't know the name of? It could be all of them because I've got the visas from 8, and he's just happy to be there no matter. And the worse it is, the better he can get you a deal and make and so that was like, I love Mahmoud. But I think everybody's favorite character, which is difficult to bring back because I've done so many like straightforward ones. I haven't done a lot of sketches or used characters that much, is Private Potato. People love Private Potato because we all know a potato. A kid that's brand new in the military is trying his best, but is fucking up because he just doesn't know. He doesn't have his sea legs. And also just like the voice. Oh, I'm trying to do the best that I can. Oh, I failed.
Fuck, who's that remind me of?
The Family Guy, Jewish guy. That
Him? Oh, yep. And then before that, Rocco's Modern Life, the turtle.
The turtle.
Turn the page.
Turn the page, Rocco. Why aren't you turning the page?
Wash your hands.
And then there's like Adam Sandler's like, move your cock and balls for mama.
Oh, yeah. It's like just Jewish people. It's just a Jewish voice.
It's like his was less raspy, but I throw the rasp in it because it's like like a hint of asthma.
Oh, I wish I could run faster, but I've got asthma and I'm trying my best.
And there's like,
I got the shoes.
There were so many shoes in Germany.
I got a profile for no boots.
Drill sergeant, I think I killed my friend.
just like stupid shit that
Drill sergeant, I think I killed him in combatives. I choked him, but he's not breathing anymore.
And I throw in these.
You got to use actual privates too as examples because you're going to have in your cycles. You are going to have. I've said this before. It is ridiculous. I would love your perspective on it as we close this out. It is 05 especially. You had fucking retards joining, and then like the recruiters weren't.
Nobody was picky, man. They needed troops,
and they were letting anyone in. We had. Looney, and his last name was Looney. He had these huge lips. He'd pee himself every night. Like, he sat across from me in the chow hall, and I just start hearing water leaking. And I look, and he pissed himself. He's like, I'll pee myself again. And then they dismissed him. And I remember drill.
He did that on purpose.
No, dude. No, that's what. No. Like, Looney just wasn't there.
Yeah.
And then when we go to the qual range, he shoots expert. And then drill sergeant was like, Looney's dangerous. Okay, Looney, you can eat cake today. Looney's dangerous. And he graduated still just still peed himself, still did this. We also had, I do not remember his name. My favorite private basic training story, because we did monkey bars. We were doing the obstacle course. This dude is like a 6'1" farmer fat kid. He gets.
I don't think you can call him that anymore. I might have just said something inappropriate. Welcome back to the show.
He's crossing. He gets halfway across. Monkey bars. How high are they in basic training?
8 feet.
Yeah, you're like you're.
You got
falling.
to take a good step up, with your arms dangling. You're still a foot or two above the ground, 8-9 feet.
He makes it halfway through, looks down. It registers. He's too high for himself. He starts screaming that he's going to die. So he's like, drill sergeant, help me! Drill sergeant! And we're all standing like, huh, what is going on? Drill sergeants are like, just fucking drop, private. What the fuck's the problem? He's like, drill sergeant, man, he's just sleeping! Drill sergeant! Dude, he thinks he's going to die. I've never seen a Fear of Heights before, so I had no idea. He, like, white gripping, and he is screaming for that 60 seconds, 90 seconds that his grip remains. And then it happens. Like something like this. For the, no. Lands upright. Looks at everyone. All the private. We're all just like, dude. And then drill sergeants are dying laughing at him. They're like, private, we told you just to fall the entire time. What the fuck was that? So I would Fear Heights, drill sergeant. How'd you make it halfway through? I looked down, drill sergeant.
Private's 9 feet.
Dude, and he's 6'1". So it was, dude, exactly. It was like a foot off the ground.
I feel like this guy was a plant. It was a drill sergeant the entire time, and just did this to like make you guys.
Dude, we were dying laughing, and he was just. We had him. We had we had so many people that got kicked out during basic. It was just privates at that time in 2005. They were just like letting anyone in, and then
it was like let basic training sort them out. You want to go in, but we're gonna let basic training sort you out, and that was great. That's the way it should be. It's not that way anymore. No. But hopefully it changes. Hashtag Pete Hegseth.
What was one of your worst like military privates that you experienced as old drill sergeant high? Big angry cops.
Man, like only one stands out. Like I've had some. I had a crazy one that was insane, and he got booted out after like 5 or 6 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks. He had everybody scared. He was like this little runt of a person, but he like would lie and tell people that he knew judo and could beat everybody up. And he was full of shit, and he got kicked out because he was a psycho. But it's like the sad guys that are like weird. I kind of like, I like them. And I had one guy that was like kind of weird and got picked on because he wasn't strong. And like the first couple of weeks of basic training, if you're strong, you survive, and you immediately get that amount of respect, right? Yep. But then what happens is that strength covers up your inadequacies. Those get exposed later on. You're not smart enough. You're not keeping up with things. You don't listen, and you're getting everybody in trouble. And then the rest of the group catches on. It's not just strength. It's a lot of other things that make you a good soldier, right?
And then teamwork.
Right? So there was, God, his name wasn't Brody. Friend, his private friend. He's one of my favorite privates ever, and I love him. And he motivated the shit out of me. And that's because he was a goofy kid with glasses and like scrawny and couldn't do push-ups and shit well, but he gave 110%. I mean, like he physically would not be able to do a push-up because he was just not that strong. But he would go to failure and keep trying and would fucking go and wouldn't. And I was like, well, I fucking love this kid. And so we had strong kids that were, they didn't need to do as many push-ups and they were fine, during like the smoke sessions or the corrective action. And one day I was like yelling at the group, or I was talking sternly to him and some other privates about like, you need to give it your all. You're all being pieces of shit. You need to do better. You need to try. And like I could tell that it really hit him. Like he had that look on his face where he's like, everything I do that I try, I'm not good enough, right? There was no positive reinforcement, even though I saw him trying all the time.
Yeah.
So he gets down and says something like, it's my fault, Rosario. I'm just not good enough. And I was like, get over here, private friend. Get over here right now. Get over here with the battle buddy. And I had a nice heart to heart. It was only like 15, 20 seconds. Then I basically said like, you're not the problem. I would take 1,000,000 of you because you try. You go to failure. You don't stop. You don't bitch. You motivate the shit out of me. I go, it's these other people that think that they've got it covered and they don't. They're shitty leaders. They're not team players, right? That's the roundabout thing. And he's just like, he gets like a little bit motivated. And I go, if I ever fucking ask for you, if I ever ask for where my friend is, you're going to say I'm right here. Do you got me? He's like, yes, Drill Sergeant. I go, if I fucking ask where my friend is, you're going to say I'm right here, Drill Sergeant. You understand me? Yes, Drill Sergeant. Go away. Goes away, right? That's my favorite thing. Is I was like, go away. It goes away. Next day, it's a new morning. He's had some sleep. And I find reasons to like call, just be like, what? And I freak out. It's one of my favorite stories to tell. I get out there, I'm like, I'm so fucking mad. Where's my friend? Where's my friend? Where is he? And you're like, Drill Sergeant, I'm your friend, Drill Sergeant. Where is he? Where's my friend? I'm your friend, Drill Sergeant. Yes. Oh, yes, you private friend. Yes, you. Oh, you are my friend. You are my friend. Thank you, private friend. And like whenever, and I would do that, and it started to motivate the shit out of him, and it made people rally around him because people then realized that he was the motivator. And if shit like morale started going down, I would let that moment end, and then a couple minutes later on, 10, 20, 30 minutes, let them soak up in the sadness a little bit. Then I would be like, everybody's so fucking sad, and it's making me feel like I'm alone. Where's my friend? And, and I'm like, Drill Sergeant, I'm your friend. Where are you? Where are you, private friend? Drill Sergeant, I'm your friend. I'm like, there he is. And eventually, like, they all rallied around him. And he's one of my favorite privates. But I'll end this story with a private that couldn't stand.
He was like Captain America. It's before he got...
Bro, in the nicest way possible, he started off as the runt of the litter, like Captain America. Small, scrawny, couldn't do push-ups, but like that mindset.
So far in life,
I'd have taken a platoon of him over any hard ass, because I could make him into a hard ass. And I don't need him to beat a hard ass one-on-one. Because if I got 20 of fucking him, they'll swarm the shit out of whatever platoon's attacking them, and they'll be ravenous. You can have your like 5 or 10 hardcores that are amazing, and then your 15 dudes that are like filling in the space, they're doing good, they're solid, and I'll take 20 of my fucking friends. Give me my fucking 20 private friends, and I'll make them the shit. And those 20 private friends will scare the shit out of those 5 jocks and 15 retards every day.
Dude, you recognize it, and hopefully people out there also. We recognize that shit so fast. Like, good leadership should recognize that instantly, and then you attach to that, and then you watch them grow. You're like, okay, this is the clay.
Yeah.
Now I can sculpt this into something even more magnificent than what they already are. I love it.
He's one of my favorite privates.
That's fucking
one of my favorite, probably my favorite private ever.
I've never heard that story.
You haven't heard that story?
No, that's my first time hearing that story from the entire time I've known you.
You're just a really bad listener.
100%.
Bad at interviewing.
Just walk away. Don't even stop the episode. It just records.
My name is AC.
He'll never be.
I got
on this
another
again.
one to quit. It's Eli.
You take over on top. The guys are so confused. Like, how'd you fire Eli?
Shut up. Don't ask questions. I'm in charge. And I just yell, where's my friend? Some kid runs in. Oh, my friend. They're like, what's that? He just tackles Donut.
I'm just cloning him.
Just kamikazes the table and wipes out the rest of them. They all come back on like bandages around their head, black eyes. Private friend's just like breathing heavy in the background. I'm like I said, I'm the new host of Unsubscribe. Are there any problems with that? And
where's that friend?
Oh, Like he's some like roided out dude now.
280.
He's just like drill sergeant high motivated the shit out of me. I got my life together. Did steroids. I have so much TRT in me. I come literal snakes. My sperm are huge. I just come snakes.
Just giant white snakes.
It's like, ugh. There's like 30 snakes. They've got legs. They've evolved, drill sergeant. They've evolved. They're your friends too. Yell at them.
Run, females. Run.
I put headphones up to my balls every day and have them, and I play the Angry Cops video mix, and they get motivated.
Yes, my children.
Your sperm have pecs. Yes, drill sergeant. Yes.
They do push-ups.
Constantly. They're always doing push-ups, drill sergeant.
I think on that note, what? Friend will be the dude. Thank you so much for coming on to this.
I didn't have a choice.
I know you're a guest.
Yep.
Do you want to be part of this or not?
Yeah, okay.
This is how you make the big bucks. Now smile at the camera.
I thought I just had to suck it.
I said smile at the camera. That's not a smile. But there.
He Monica Lewinsky'd me.
Dude,
There's
seriously.
cum all over my pants. It's not mine.
I can't thank you enough for being an amazing friend, amazing business partner, and then all around moting the fuck out of myself and then everyone out there. Thank you, buddy.
I'm sorry I bored you.
They're already clicked off.
They've been gone.
Where can everyone find you, Mr. Angry Cops?
They're up their own ass. Angry Cops. Just fucking Google it.
Just Google it. We love you. Thank you. Welcome to the another. That was say hi to Eli. We're figuring out how to close it still. We just named it Jake's the one that named it, and then Nick, which is episode 2 or 3 that I filmed. He's the one that was the first one to say, "Oh, hi Eli." Like, oh, that's how we'll start it.
Say hi to Eli. He's a fucking narcissist. He's crazy. He's got a gun under the chair. He's gonna threaten me with my life. I am gonna die. Welcome to Eli's talk. You shot me in the leg. Why would you do that?
My accuracy's bad.